What is going on, guys and girls? It's GhostRobo, and welcome to The Division. I had early access to this game, so I am bringing you the start of it. We'll go through character creation, get into the opening area, load ourselves up with gear, and get out into that desolate and dangerous New York City. If you guys enjoy this video and want more Division, I will bring it your way. Just hit that like button. Also, there's a Division beta this week, and it's on Xbox One and PS4. I've got some codes for you. All you gotta do if you want to win one is like the video and let me know what platform you want the game on, or the beta on, in the comments, and then I'll pick a couple winners ASAP and get you guys a beta code. Set in our settings, and then we'll move straight into character creation. It's a pretty cool character creator. It's definitely better than the Fallout 3, Skyrim, character creators of yesteryear. You can't really make anyone super young or super attractive. Everybody seems pretty weathered. And I guess that makes sense because you are a soldier as part of the Division trying to protect the very chaotic New York City streets. And it's ironic that there was just a huge snowstorm in New York City because that's basically the premise of this game, except luckily in real life there weren't people grabbing flamethrowers and mowing down civilians. The Division, on the other hand, definitely has all of that and more. I know a lot of people have been super excited for this game, and that's why I'm bringing it your way. It releases in just over a month. It's been a long time coming. I remember 2 years ago, E3 2014, I went to a special Q&A, learn about the game session. It was sort of in the evening in a special area, and they told us all about the game and what they were thinking and where they were looking to go with development. And now all of that has come to fruition and come together in a game that very much reminds me of Destiny, from third person with Tom Clancy, like sort of the Tom Clancy vibe to it. And we'll see what you guys think if you agree. But going with the girl character here, thought it would be interesting to mix it up a little bit. Couple different choices in terms of scars and face paint, hairstyles and whatnot. Eventually you will get different outfits and gear and stuff like pants and hats and coats and jackets and vests and pads and stuff. But for now, all we got going on is more of the bodily type things. But once we get going, you'll get to see single-player stuff, you'll get to see co-op stuff, you'll get to see PvP stuff inside the Dark Zone, and more. Ooh, yes. I love these professor glasses. That is what we're going to roll with right there, making me look like some very knowledgeable yet very spooky person here. And I did... This is like post-commentary. Normally I do everything live, but just so you know, if it seems like I know what's going on, I've recorded this and now I'm commentating over it. So, let's see what we got going on in the beginning, now that our character is ready for action.
Hey! Just hold on! Come on back! I need you! Look, you're gonna be okay. Hell, at this point, you're more okay than me. Shit, that explosion took out the commander. We have a job to do. We're still gonna do it. It's just...
Landing in 1 minute. Should be able to see it coming up on my right.
Found out a little more about the first wave. They're all either dead or MIA. So this is up to us. That's why we need to get it together, right now.
JTF 6-8 the tower, visual Hudson. Yeah. 2 Division agents on board. The explosion was their right end. Okay, clear to land. JTF 6-8.
Usually you need some time to know if you can count on someone. Well, we're out of time. The bet's on you. It has to be. I hope to God I'm right.
Welcome to Hudson Piers. I'm not sure what you're looking to get out of this. Everything behind this gate is a goddamn war zone.
So who's in command here?
Captain Benitez was in charge. He was leading ops in the post office, but we lost contact when he left base this morning. If he's still radio silent by tomorrow, there's talk of pulling out.
No one's pulling out. We're taking this city back. Get whatever gear you need. I'll catch up with you.
Good luck out there. Y'all made it.
I think our character looks pretty darn good. She may have looked a little shaky on that starting screen, but now she looks pretty decent. We're dropped in a little bit after this very start of the game, but this is basically where things get going for real. We'll pass a lovely abandoned merry-go-round on your right. Some people carrying what look to be a gurney on the left, and we'll head into an opening area where we'll be able to really kind of get going with the game. Checking out the scenery here, it is pretty darn lovely. Everything looks good. Graphically, the game is pretty sharp. I'm sure it'll look fantastic on PC. I saw it on PC, and it looked even better than console. But I think on console, being a next-gen game, it looks pretty darn good. Those two guys, don't know what they were investigating. Hazmat suits and whatnot, making me nervous that I'm just out here breathing the cold air. I like the scope of the world and the scale of the city. There's definitely a lot of huge buildings. Now, I don't know how much verticality you'll be able to explore. You'll see in my videos and in the beta, if you play it, that you can get pretty decently high up on some of the buildings. And the Division is meant to be played co-op. You can do everything single player if you want, but they strongly, are shaping this game to be a multiplayer experience, both in the co-op campaign side of things and in the PvP Dark Zone side of things. So there are vendors around. Don't have enough money for any of their stuff right now, but again, this hub reminds me a lot of Destiny. And you'll see throughout the video different nods and different kind of touches that Destiny, just a little bit of the Destiny vibe in terms of how the menus are and how the gear is handled and how your guns work and how, ammo isn't really of that much of a concern. It's more about the guns and just some different things, your skills and your health bar. A lot of it just reminds me of Destiny. And of course you could say the same about any shooter, but this one is clearly being crafted, as you see by my my emotions or dance moves or whatever you call those things, emoticon, blah blah blah, poses, dances. What the word is eluding me. Whatever these things are called, I'm sure you're shouting it at your screen right now. But all of these expressions, they want this to be a social game, and they want it to hopefully have the legs that Destiny has and the popularity. Will it reach those levels? I don't think so. Destiny's kind of an anomaly, and I think all in all, the Destiny mechanics are so sound that it keeps you playing even if the content gets boring. Here it's third-person shooter, so it's a good third-person shooter for a TPS, but in general, shooter controls are not as, I don't know, for me, they're not as awesome in a third-person standing. I think the lighting looks amazing in this game. I like the look of the HUD and everything as well. It's got a very futuristic vibe. The sound in this game, I think the audio, especially just of some of the more subtle things like footsteps through the snow and the ambient noise and stuff, is really nice. And these are all other players that you could interact with in some ways. And I remember back in E3 a long time ago, I don't know if it was 2 E3s ago or 3, they showed this thing where like, oh, you come across a rival gang and how would you fight them or whatever. And that's not really in the main city. That's all in the Dark Zone. And when we get to the Dark Zone, I'll tell you my concerns with the Dark Zone. I think some people are going to think it's super cool, and I think some people are going to think it's not super cool. And there's some issues with the PvP, and a lot of it, frankly, has to do with the fact that the game is a third-person shooter, and I think the shooting controls are a lot harder and not as effective in sort of a PvP as they are fighting against the enemies. Now, what we're doing here right now is assigning our first major ability. I'm going down the tech tree here and buying an offensive weapon because I want something that I can shoot and blow up. That sounds like a lot more fun than medical aid or whatnot early on. Again, like the environment, the atmosphere, the weather effects, really, really solid. And I like the HUD that it kind of just floats. It reminds me of Dead Space in terms of the HUD. And then I don't know what game it reminds me of because the scale is like a GTA in terms of the size and scope of the city. You've got sort of the in-world writing from Splinter Cell. And then you've got obviously shooting from something like Ghost Recon, and then you've got like the cover mechanics from like Watch Dogs. So it's kind of like a Ubisoft, just like a cornucopia of all their games smashed together, blended up, and so far so good. I think it'll be interesting to see how the game holds up across the entire campaign, how long that lasts, and then, you know, what the additional content is, because they are going to need to pack this thing with additional content similar to Destiny to keep people playing. I really like the mantle system, the fact that you can kind of climb over anything in the game. Almost everything that you see in the streets can either be used as cover or used to vault over, which is really cool. Now, all these buildings on the side, you can't go in them. I do wish there were some stores, kind of like Watch Dogs or GTA, but I guess that's not really the point of the game. Now, as I say that, you can go in here, but from what I've seen, nobody is like selling anything. They're all abandoned and more window dressing than they are actual functional stores. But who knows? Maybe there are later districts in the game where you actually will be shopping. But I like all the touches. It looks lived in. It looks like people have evacuated quickly, and that's sort of the old plot line of the Division, which is that a big bad virus is spreading some sort of infection disease, and it is ransacked, you know, the greatest American city. And now what will people do? Around Christmas time, nonetheless. So how could any bacteria be more disgustingly naughty than that? You do collect med kits. You saw me picking one up there. And that's what you use to refill your health. Your 3-bar health meter. It's a segmented health meter. So if one section gets depleted, then it's gone until you use a health pack. But if one section gets like halfway depleted or 3/4 depleted or a quarter depleted, then it will regenerate. I'm playing in a squad of 3 right now. You can play in a squad of 4. Here is a really cool part of the game that you've probably seen in the trailers from E3 in years past. The big map that you open up, and it's like a holographic projection of a map showcasing the entirety of New York City and the explorable area. The red is the dark zone where you will do your PvP, and that's separated based on levels. And then these areas are explorable mission areas, side mission areas, and just go around gain XP areas. That is one thing I do like about the game. You're rewarded with XP based on almost everything you do, mostly killing. What I do not like about the XP system so far is that it is spread evenly amongst your teammates. So if you're in a group, everyone gets XP equally, which may be good for some people, but then there's really no benefit or advantage to getting the headshot or getting the kill if everyone's sharing XP. And I did clarify that, and as of right now, maybe it changes before launch, but as of right now, that's what was going on. Now we're going to dive into our inventory a little bit here, and check out some of our weapons. You can have 2 primary weapons equipped at a time, and then a secondary pistol. So I'm going to go with sort of an assault rifle, pistol, shotgun combo right now, so that I'm effective at every single range. Waiting for our first combat encounter. It's not coming yet, so I will make it myself, and I'm a terrible person! I feel so bad. I killed the dog. My girlfriend was watching me play this, and she just about broke up with me after that. I didn't know dogs could die. Typically, you know, civilians and kids and dogs can't be killed in games, but the Division takes risks, and now this puppy will freeze an empty carcass underneath this overpass. You'll notice that our waypoint marker, our sort of map guide, is above us. It's almost like a zip line that you wish you could jump and just slide through the city streets, but you can't. Instead, you just follow it above you, which is an interesting choice. Never really seen that done. You do have mods for all your weapons. By the way, I'm currently getting shot from behind, so I should probably take this guy out. You can zoom in. You don't have to zoom in, but you'll see numbers popping. They kind of got the Borderlands thing going on. I am in dire straits, so I'll take cover, pop a health pack, and get my health back up to 2 meters. The shooting is a little bit floaty. I don't know if you call it like heavy or floaty or heavy and floaty, but that's what it feels like to me. That's different loot. The blue ones are things, those are gloves, so I got some trendy gloves, I believe. I think it's gloves. Maybe it's a jacket, I don't know. Some piece of clothing, I can't read it on my screen right now. But we'll go see that right now. You've got gear, attributes, appearance, and it was a different jacket. So I can put in that trendy shell jacket. Sorry, I thought it was gloves, but it wasn't. And then these are the different things that you will upgrade and collect and loot along the way. And it is color-coded in terms of like greens and blues and purples and whatnot. And then there are attachments that you can put on the different guns to add bonuses. They're statistical bonuses, and everything is very stat-driven and very much like compare and contrast the guns to find the best possible loadout for the most DPS, etc., etc. I didn't find like I had to worry about ammo really that much at all. I've played the alpha and I've played the beta, and so I've played the opening segments multiple times, and I never really had to worry about ammo very much. So I don't think that's a concern. It's more about which weapon you want to use. Shotgun, I think I did run out occasionally, but you'll pick up quite a bit. And there's not a whole lot of like stealing going on. You can't steal loot. If loot pops for you, it's just for you. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, someone's just like sitting back and hogging all the collectibles. But again, at the same time, everyone's getting the same XP. So I'm not exactly sure how that's all handled behind the scenes, if everyone's getting the exact same loot or if loot just pops at different times. But you'll see a beam pop out of an enemy if after they die, they have dropped loot. I like the whole Christmas vibe. It reminds me of Arkham City, except it's not entirely black and full of street thugs. Although there are quite a few creeps roaming around these New York City streets. So, testing out our roll. And there's another dog. I will not kill this one, sparing the puppy, because that would just be mean. You do have an up-close melee, although I found myself not... Someone else killed the dog! Goodness gracious, my crew is full of evil. And another dog goes down. That's terrible. I'm so sorry, PETA. Anyhow, I like these dense city streets. Like, this looks really, really good graphically. Like, makes me really excited for Watch Dogs 2, which I'm guessing is going to come out later this year. Because if it has this level of fidelity and much better mission structure, and maybe they even, like, kind of key in on the more linear single-player mission-focused stuff, I think that'll be great. Anyways, we're not playing the Watch Dogs 2 yet. We're playing The Division. So these guys are just civilians, so we don't want to shoot them or kill them. Probably not a good idea. But there are bad guys up in the streets, and so we will take cover. I don't think you can kill civilians. There's a headshot. We'll take that guy. There's a lot of recoil on the guns, so you have to account for that. I'm sure later on you can acquire different upgrades and modifiers and whatnot that will stabilize your weaponry. Okay, so we are heading right now to open up our main base of operations. Back there was kind of like our hub, but we really need to open up a base because the game, at least from a single player standpoint, is divided into these 3 different trees. Three different parts of the city that you kind of need to recuperate and repair. You'll see that in the future, though.
JTF radio traffic.
Taking small arms fire. Small arms fire. Hooters have us in their sights. JTF hearing this? Please respond.
Tracking signal. Analysis complete. Uploading coordinates.
Alright, so some different stuff popping up on the map. We don't have time to address that. We are in a big firefight of our own, discovering Pennsylvania Plaza and trying to assist the good guys in taking out the bad. All the guys with the green meters above their head are our friends. All the guys with the red are not. I'm launching sort of my proximity mine. That was the skill you saw me acquire earlier on in the video, and we can detonate that any time. It is on a remote, so it's not a timed detonation. It's a remote detonation. Going for headshots is critical, and you'll see the XP pop, and we move from 4 to 5. Now, you hold A and you run up to cover, or you can just tap A and get out of cover and sort of move on your own, but I'm just testing out the cover system here and showing you what you got going on. If you hold it, you will run, and you will pick up stuff along the way, which is a nice little touch. We got more enemies, though. It's quite the fortified area. The shotgun has insane range, as you can see here. Now, it's not doing anywhere near as much lethal damage as it would from afar, but it still does a world of hurt. I found myself relying heavily on more of the assault weapons in this game. The shotguns are great for up close. The pistol I didn't really find a whole lot of use for. Sometimes I would use it just to mix things up. I'm sure, again, if you have a top tier pistol, if you get one through loot or whatnot, that would be awesome. I do hope that there are items that are quest related, so like side missions or whatnot, or if you complete a certain number of side missions, then you'll unlock like a special gun or whatnot. I do know that there are... Sorry, I've been recording and playing a lot today. There are difficulty levels for the missions, and if you bump those up, you will get more out of the mission. So, for example, normally, say you'd get, like, I don't know, XP and a blue piece of loot. If you bump it to hard, you'll get more XP, and then you'll get a purple piece of loot plus a cosmetic item or something like that. Now, there are these ladders and these different sort of, like, ledges, balconies, different things that you will be able to climb up, and that gives you vantage points, I assume, for different encounters. Now, I believe the world is like Destiny. Don't quote me on this, but I believe it's like Destiny, where once you clear out an area, it's not like that stays empty. Mobs will kind of populate in. I'm not 100% sure, but I sure hope that's the case. Otherwise, this would get really, really, really quiet really quickly. So I believe that you're able to go and come back and take guys out for more XP. I don't know exactly how the scaling works, But that's going to be, I think, another critical
Dispatch,
thing.
This is Division Agent Faye Lau, empowered and authorized by Executive Order and DHS Directive 51.
Whoever you are, we're under an all-out assault. I'm not sure how much help you... screw it. We'll take anything you can give us. Now, how are you on my comms?
We've got your back. Just try not to shoot at anyone who's trying to help you. Over.
Alright, so please try not to shoot anyone that's trying to help you, although I don't believe you can kill anybody that's friendly regardless. You may be able to in the dark zone, but definitely not on the main city streets here. Going to pick up a friend who is long gone and left behind, but actually he's long behind for a good reason, because there were people left behind this disaster, and they take shape in the form of echoes, which is how the story is told. There are some cutscenes and whatnot and interaction with NPCs, but a lot of the more subtle stories told through this.
Make it last, okay?
This food belongs to us now. Drop the goods and get the hell out of my sight. Pack this up. We're taking the garden next.
So basically, they're called echoes, and they're almost like memories embedded within the city of what happened before and what's going on there, or what went on there, and then there's little audio logs that go along with them, and they're just sort of more of an ambient way of telling the story, a subtle way. It's not going to give you like any like humongous detail about characters or about the city, but it will give you a little bit of perspective and a little bit of information. I've seen some that do have like boss characters and things like that, so it does sometimes behoove you to learn and listen if you want to gain a little bit more knowledge and sort of context for the story and what's happening. I like fighting from up high. I do feel like everyone is bullet spongy, including yourself. You can take quite a bit of damage, but a lot of the enemies that I faced, at least, all of them were very spongy, and you had to shoot them quite a few times to do your worst to them. That guy's using a shield. I did not even realize these were bad guys, so they weren't firing. But got different things. We can restock, and loot is the colored stuff, and then the gray is just kind of restock stuff, I believe. That's how it works, yeah. In terms of grenades and ammo. Your special ability, sort of your skill, which currently is my that proximity mine, or I guess not proximity, that remote mine that gets fired at the gun, which is kind of cool. It's like a grenade mine. That has a recharge. Eventually you'll get 2 skills and a passive skill, or I mean you activate it, but it functions as more as a passive, so it's a boost skill. So you'll have 2 skills, one on like left bumper, right bumper, and then if you press them both at the same time, I believe you get a more of a passive team bonus.
Unit 43, be advised, you have incoming division agents as backup to your location.
About damn time you get us some help.
Alright, so you just saw kind of one of what would be like a passive ability being activated there, where we gain critical hit damage, or critical hit percentage, one of the two, right there. I like how there's civilians just wandering around like, hey, okay, now I'm going to duck and cover and run. This is bad news. She must have been deaf or something like that, because she took quite a while to get the heck out of there. The best thing about this game, I think, is the way it controls. Not necessarily the shooting, but the movement is really nice. And it's got a very fun feel to how you navigate the world, and I would say how you fight guys as well. I think against like computer enemies, AI enemies, like campaign enemies, it works really, really well. PvP, like I said, a little bit trickier. It kind of becomes mass chaos because it's not as accurate of a shooting system as something like Destiny. So with the movement being heavier, bulkier, with the shooting being floatier, heavier, it's hard to be precise and kind of feels just like an all-out, like, it's Y2K, everybody's got their bags and their guns and they're running for the hills. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you'll like that. For me, it felt a little weird. But right now, we're working on some regular computer enemies, and for that, this does the job nice and well. Toss a grenade in there. You have grenades. You can collect a bunch of different kinds of grenades, by the way. And then that can assist you in taking everybody down. A nice green piece of loot right there as we finish this fight. And before we wrap up, we're going to be right by our base. And then next video, if you guys want to see it, I'll go check out the base and show you guys the 3 different sections that make up the 3 kind of paths of the campaign, the 3 wings of your
The Division saved our sorry asses.
your main base.
Thanks for the report, Bravo Squad. Stay alert out there and keep it frosty. I'm glad you made it.
Now
Let me
Go
talk.
on in and have a look around. I finally got some transportation, so I'm inbound.
All right.
Let's do this.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you're inbound, and we are going to be inbound in a second. But I just want to tell you that in here, at this big main area, is where we will, in the safe zone, where we'll see the different components to say that we need to bring back up to speed and bring back to a functional level. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A good first look at the Division. You want more? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button. Also, I'll be giving away beta codes. All you got to do is leave a like and a comment with what platform you want, and I'll bring it your way. Until next time, everyone, thanks so much for watching. You have a fantastic day. Drink some hot chocolate. Stay tuned for more. We will see you all later.